We're back here in the BMC Showcast, Soldiercon Night 1. My next guest, Dr. E.C. Dukes, PhD, and her husband, Ronnie Dukes. They are the writer and artist of Dukes Comics. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much for having us. It's great to be here.
Yes, we love your podcast.
Love you guys' book. Everything's looking good. I want to get off topic real quick before I forget. Ronnie and I we're all three of us that were impressed. Ronnie and I have a matching, well, his is a different color, but we're matching Prince buttons. I showed my Prince tattoo, and you have a Prince story to tell me.
I have a great Prince story to tell. I actually went to college in Minneapolis from high school in Chicago because I figured that Minneapolis was the place to be because Prince was there. I had no idea what I was going to study or anything like that. And so I got to Minneapolis. My very second day of being there is when I met EC here, who ended up becoming my wife. I've been following her ever since, and now she's a Prince fan as well.
Yes, and we got to see him perform one of his last live shows.
We saw him in 1999.
We saw him in 1999, and we had a balcony. We thought we were going to have an awful view, but he actually had like this 20-minute moment where he laid flat on the stage playing his guitar. And we had a perfect view because we were up in the balcony.
But did he play 1999? In 1999, the show.
Yeah, exactly. We thought everything was just going to blow up, implode.
So what's your guys' favorite Prince song?
You know, I love the B and C sides. Like, my favorite Prince song of all time is I Wonder You from Under the Cherry Moon.
Nice. How about you, EC?
I like the song Sometimes It Snows in April. It makes me cry every time I hear that song. It's a beautiful song.
I can't pick one because it's like a lot of things depends on my mood. Yeah. But my youngest son, his very first song that he used to jam out to was Party Man from the Batman soundtrack.
Oh, no way. That's an awesome song. Great video.
Yeah. But I agree with you, like the beat cuts, like erotic too. There's so many random that don't get airplayed with.
Exactly. He was really creative.
I actually worked a local crew for one French show. It was fall of 2000. I'm from Northern Virginia, but George Mason. It was DC booking. I guess it was the last minute they were fitting in, like the Wizards, the Capitals, they were all in town. So he ended up coming to our arena, which is like 10,000 seats. Actually, it's barely 10,000. It's a little smaller than that has. So it's sold out all the way around, no curtains, nothing. So they call us over because he's in the last song. I'm about to take him on stage. And the way the stage is set up, there's a stage and there's a wall behind, and there's people sitting behind there. This lady had to be like late 40s, flies over the rail, jumps down. It was a considerable drop, pancakes flat. Gets up and starts dancing behind Prince. I start rubbing my eyes like, did I just see this? My buddy's like, yeah. And there's Cam's police right there, and they arrested her right from the song's over.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's a good thing it wasn't a tragedy. It ended with dancing.
No, but it was quite a fun. Like, how did she not break something? I have no idea.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, we also got to see him in Philadelphia. And at that concert in the front row, he said, I'm going to invite my friend up here to sing with me. It was Patti LaBelle. And they sang Lean Back by Fat Joe. That was awesome.
So many good deep cuts. But I guess we better get back on topic now. So tell me about Dukes Comics. Obviously, you guys been in college. At one point, did you guys start collaborating on the creative stuff?
Sure. Well, I was actually, I followed EC as I do from undergrad to graduate school, where she went to Columbia University. And I was actually a painter. And I started exhibiting my work in different galleries around town. We lived in Manhattan at the time. And I noticed that not a lot of people can actually come to the show. Or, you don't exactly reach the entire city from a gallery. And so I wanted to put all of my work together in a book. And it's right around the time when EC had finished her script for a feature-length film. And so we decided that was the best way to go about promoting her film or her film idea, and also me having a portfolio all in one place that everyone could see at one time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to start writing the comics, and how long, I guess, the process from that to when issue number 1 was done? How did you,
Sure.
part 1 was done? How did you?
Yeah, so as Ronnie mentioned, I wrote a screenplay. It was a big military action adventure film, high budget. But I had a low budget, and I tried to reach out to Fort Bliss to see if I could film on their base. But of course, I'm nobody with no budget, so they said no. So after about 4 years of trying to make a feature film, we decided to maybe try a different mode, a different genre. And so we decided to go with something that was more accessible to us and not so expensive to make. And so that's how we got the idea to make a graphic novel first.
Okay, so I guess rewind this step. So how did you guys go from Minnesota and are you guys in Cruces or El Paso? Or are you guys up there?
We're in Chaparral, which
nice.
is
Nice small town.
yes. So I was born and raised there. Got a scholarship to go to Minnesota to college. That's where we met. And then I wanted to. At the time, I was studying journalism, but I realized I didn't want to work in news, and so I wanted to try filmmaking. And so I went to Harlem, which is where we lived for 7 years. I got my film degree while Ronnie was painting. So it was hard to have space, to store all the paints and the big canvas. And again, it's also expensive to try to make a feature film. And so that's why we were just like, okay, how do we put our skills together and help each other and become a team?
Okay, so approximately what year is this when you say, okay, film's done? When the transition was complete from okay, we're dropping the film, going to film.
It was in about 2007
Okay.
and 2008 and 9, and then it was around that time that we started working on the graphic novel. And so actually the graphic novel is based off of my storyboards for the film, which are more like kind of stick figures, but it shows like angles and what type of shots. And so then Ronnie was able to translate those storyboards into an actual graphic novel. So that process, because it was our first time ever even publishing a book, we had no idea how to even do that. It took us 8 years, like total, from the first time that Ronnie started, drawing a line to the moment that the book was published. So it took us 8 years to do our first book.
So graphic novel 1, is that the entire film or just part of it?
It's a one shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not even much. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So when you guys, did you guys do the Kickstarter route, Indiegogo, or you self-published or self-financed, I should say?
Yes. So we're self-published, I guess self-financed. Yeah. I mean, we've gotten some little grants here and there to assist with like translation, because our books also got translated to Japanese and German and Spanish. But for the most part, we've been fundraising by going to shows and trying to sell art and things like that. And of course, we've always had jobs. So even though this is our passion, at some point we weren't just doing our passion full time. Like now at this moment, we're doing our passion full time, but it took us a long time to get to that point. Just strictly comics.
That's the dream right there.
Yes. So we're teaching comics at a middle school in Chaparral where we live. We do consulting.
What side of Chaparral you want? You Doña side or you on the
Doña side.
Yeah, that's why you sponsored District 9.
Yes. So my parents moved out there when there was not a lot of people. There weren't even like street lights. My mom said it was super dark. And then, it just all of a sudden kind of blew up. When I was growing up there was about 6,000 people. But now there's about 17,000 people.
Yeah, definitely. I've been here since 2010. So but yeah, it's definitely booming time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's right in the middle between Fort Bliss and White Sands Missile Range.
Yeah.
So it's actually like in a perfect location. And Chaparral, the meaning of Chaparral is kind of like this, like a shrubbery area. Oasis type of place. And that's kind of what it is. We also have not something that I'm proud of, but we have a private prison there.
I've actually been in there. We did a drill when I was the volunteer firefighter. We did a drill with them, but
Wow.
it's not as far south as there.
Yeah. So
there is an interesting site for it there. I'll leave it at that.
yes. So right now we're involved in efforts to create the first ever library in our town, like a public library for the whole community.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of things. Being in arts, a lot of times I'm sure there's parents out there who will tell their kid, like, why are you going into the arts? Like, how are you going to fund yourself? But we've been able to be resourceful and just think about different avenues, different ways that we can use our skills while also still making a living.
And for the next 2 weeks, we'll be teaching a comics career course at Chaparral Middle School. So we'll be teaching the kids how to use story and art to tell their stories in whatever genre or profession they're actually in. but also how to make money from it, how to actually like make a career out of being a comic book artist or writer.
Is it like an after school program, or is this like during the day, or how does that work?
It's actually going to be during the day, a special program that we were lucky enough to be able to provide thanks to the Doña Ana Arts Council and the Devashali Family Foundation. Really made it possible for us to go in and talk to pretty much every middle schooler is what we'll be talking to when we get there.
Yeah. Where you guys when I was a kid, man? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are the, is there so that's a one shot. So you have, is there a part 2 coming out, or do you have a whole totally different story you guys want to work on next, or what's the next plans for Duke Comics?
Yeah, well, all of our books, we love for them to be like kind of like one shots where it's like you are reading a film. Yes. You know, you have it all at once. It's a big value. You know, you have everything there. But next, we're actually working on animation. So we're actually going to be animating Daisy and the Dukes of Chuco, and it's going to be based here in the El Paso, Juarez area. And we're also going to be working just after that, in the near future, a video game, a driving AAA racing game based here in the area as well, which we definitely need.
Now, how does do you have people programmers signed up, or how do you? Who you reach out to, or if you can't tell me, I understand.
No, absolutely. We are fiercely independent, Dukes Comics, and you know, we're trying to like get into the groups and things like that, but we found that we're just learning these things on our own and actually producing them on our own as well. So like me, for instance, I'm learning Blender, Unreal Engine 5, and taking advantage of the fact that this technology is available. And that's one of the things that we teach our kids as well, is take advantage of all of this free and inexpensive technology to get your ideas out there, which is what we're going to do.
Nice. Yeah. And you mentioned the comics being translated to Spanish, you said German, Japanese. So do you guys have a decent overseas market in Europe and Asia? Or?
Yes, so we actually exhibited our first graphic novel, which is AWOL Cruz Ochoa. It's about a Latina soldier. She's about to ship out. She finds out her brother has been kidnapped, so she goes AWOL. She does not go on her mission without permission in order to try and go and find her brother. So it's like a race against time, action adventure. And so what was the question again?
No, about the translation.
Oh, yes. I apologize. Yes. So AWOL, we actually, when we translated to Japanese, we took it to Tokyo Comic-Con. And at Tokyo Comic-Con, we actually sold out of our Japanese books and our English books. And so our translator is someone from Okinawa that was based here in El Paso because her husband was in the military. And we met her through El Paso Community College. And so, yes, so our book sold out there through Comic-Con. But we also went to FIL, which is an international book fair in Guadalajara, Mexico. And so there we met a lot of distributors from Spain, also from Mexico. And so our books got into those bookstores. So slowly but surely, and in Germany, we have some books somewhere out there. Some bookstore is selling our books.
So that's a true grassroots can get you overseas. I just put the work in, and it shows, man. That's my proud of you guys. That's incredible, man.
Thank you.
So the video game, how far, like, are we, I assume you're in the planning stages, or?
Yeah, in the planning stages right now. And we just, if you follow us on our Instagram, Dukes Comics _publisher, you'll actually see our first video of my actual 3D modeling. So I'm in the process of modeling everything right now. We're putting it all together. EC is writing the story, which will be nice and big. Yeah, so that's where we are right now. We're in our very early stages.
And what we want to do is we want to like create at least a snippet of what a bigger project could be like. So with the video game, for example, we may only be able to create maybe 3 blocks of a neighborhood, but hopefully by getting it out there and possibly drawing partners to us and collaborators, then we can then expand it and make it a bigger experience.
Now, is the long-term goal like all consoles like Steam, Switch, PS2, Xbox, all that?
Without a doubt, absolutely. I'm a huge PlayStation fan now. We definitely want it on a PlayStation, but Steam, we want everybody to be able to play it. Yeah.
I'm a Steam GOG guy myself. I like the love physical media.
Yeah.
I'll buy a mock Sega Genesis cartridge. There's no game in it.
That's exactly how I feel too. Like ever since games have been downloadable, I haven't bought a game in 20 years, something like that. So yeah, I feel the exact same way. Yeah.
Not a new one anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Steam, like they're awesome because they're helping to bring us things like Unreal Engine 5, so we can use that to develop with. Yeah.
Yeah, just go to it. Or what about itch.io or those side developers? Any of those? Or
We're definitely in the market to work with developers for sure. But we really want to show like a proof of life, so to speak, so that we make sure that when the project does come out, it doesn't leave room for interpretation. You can see exactly what we're looking at, what we're looking for, and then hopefully we can just expand on that. Yeah.
I brought up itch.io because I have an IRK machine. I would love to side load your game on there one day eventually. So
Oh.
I'd love to buy it and finagle it so it works out there. But
Consider that done.
awesome, man. I love it. Anything else you guys want to add? At the very least, picture, plug all your socials, your Instagram, your Facebook, website.
Yeah, definitely visit us at our website, dukescomics.com. Our Instagram is dukescomics_publisher. And we are having a lot of really great things coming out. We actually have here at Soldiercon, our banner is augmented reality. So if you actually walk up to our banner, you'll be able to see animation here on the spot interactively. And anything you can think of, VC?
Yes, and just if you need any consulting or advice on how to launch your comic book or your comic career, we're here to assist with that. Obviously we had to do it on our own, so we learned a lot, and so we have a lot of knowledge that we can share with others.
So where would someone reach out to? Just through the Instagram, or what's the proper channel to get a hold of you for that?
I would say through our website. As soon as you go to our website, you have an opportunity to enter your email address, and there's a contact button that you can click on, and there's a form, and it'll go directly to our message box.
So you guys are players, coaches, tutors, everything.
Pretty much. We gotta wear all the hats.
So for the game or for anything, are you guys looking to go the Kickstarter or Indiegogo, or is that not an option? Or?
Yes, that is definitely an option, especially once we have, like, what I want to do is develop a playable level, so that way we can use that to help to promote it on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. But that will be probably, we're looking at 2025 or so for that. Yeah.
I'm a big Kickstarter backer myself. That's where I get most. I would say 90% of my comics came from Kickstarter or started from Kickstarter. Then.
Oh, that's great to know. That's great to know. We're actually are trying to develop a really great strategy for Kickstarter, so we'd love to talk to you about that in the future.
Definitely. So I can put you in touch with people who have been very successful in that.
Awesome. So, yeah. Cool.
If that's all you're missing, you guys are golden. So.
That's all we're missing. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add, or anything I missed?
Well, we have some free zines on our website. We also have some what is called graphic medicine. There's a lot of medical professionals that are looking for content that has to do with health issues. So whenever someone has some sort of illness, they're looking for literature or books, anything that represents that experience. And so that's something that we've been doing lately. We've been collaborating with nursing professionals and researchers and helping them create comics that have to do with brain health, for example, or for example, caregiving, the stress of being a caregiver, and some tips to help caregivers to take better care of themselves while they're caring for others. So we try to do work that inspires people, that teaches something, that pretty much, I know it sounds maybe a little cheesy, but we are trying to create a better world and trying to help others.
That's cool. See, that's why I love to go to conventions. This is my first, non-comic display when I've been to since COVID. But it's, if I hadn't come in today, I wouldn't have met you guys. I wouldn't have discovered this. This is awesome.
Right.
But where, other than your website, are you guys in any local stores? Are you guys in Clovis or any stores? Or?
Yeah, our main store right now, who carries all of our products, is the Comic Attic in Chaparral, New Mexico. It's on 300 McCombs in Chaparral, New Mexico. Also, our comics are in Asylum Comics on Mesa Street in El Paso, Texas as well. Yeah, so we're definitely in Asylum as well. That's where all the crazies are. But yeah.
I'd rather wear that Chaparral. I need to check that place. I didn't know that was there. That's crazy.
Oh, you have to. It's as soon as you get into the city, as soon as you get into the town, and it's right there to welcome you into Chaparral.
Right.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add, or?
We also have a zine series that's based on the Comic Attic. It's called Marcus and Izzy Comic Addicts. And and those are also available for free on our website.
Okay, it's like previews or teasers of the main series? Or?
They're like issues. So there's going to be 12 zine issues in this series. So it's a black and white series, just kind of like a day in the life of owning and operating a comic book store.
Oh, nice.
Like a funny, like a buddy comedy kind of story mixed with the Odd Couple.
That sounds good, man. I look forward to reading it.
Yeah, and so we try to think of so many different ways to help move our career. And so, for example, I also do academic writing. And so a lot of times I write and publish articles that have to do with teaching comics, like the benefits of teaching comics. And because sometimes people think comics are not literature or they're not worthy, but there's a lot of reading.
We've all heard that from time to time, man.
Yeah, so we want to bring value to this community of comic book lovers and fandom people. And so we try to just kind of put the message wherever we can, whether it's academics, creative, community. We even met a librarian that runs the library at a prison in San Diego, and he's going to put our books in his library. And maybe soon we'll be doing a Zoom workshop with prisoners in San Diego. And so we're just trying to get wherever we can to spread the Dukes comics.
So when you guys sleep, man, you're going 24/7 here now.
You know, I think there's a movie that says it. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
It's true, though. I mean, we're constantly working. Like, we really have to consciously say, okay, turn off the computer. This is now social fun time.
Exactly.
Okay, so for a realistic perspective, so this is your day job now. You're 100% into it. Compared to, like, teaching or whatever, or running a store or whatever, how many hours would you take on estimate?
Wow.
I mean, if you put in 40, I would say we put in 80. Because
at least
we can get up at like 4 a.m. and immediately I'm like, okay, I got to write something, or I got to work on this podcast that I'm editing, or Ronnie immediately starts to animate. And then we'll just go through our day, and next thing we know, it's like 8 o'clock at night.
And even when we're doing other things, we're still kind of conceptualizing things that, day job kind of things as well. And so it's hard to like kind of turn it off completely until it's time to like shut down. Yeah.
But we love doing this. So it's really a passion. It's just like somebody who loves video gaming. Like, you always get that need, that want to like go and touch your PlayStation and want to start playing. Like, you could play it anytime, right? Like 4 o'clock in the morning or at noon. And so it's our passion, and it's fun, and we're constantly being inspired by other art. And so it's just always making ideas just spin in our head. And we're very fortunate. I feel very lucky and blessed to be able to do this, because I know there's people who don't have that luxury, right? Like, they work somewhere where they're maybe working at a cash register, for 8 hours a day, and it may not be their passion, but that's what people have to do to make the world go round. So we are just humbled that we get to do this. But at the same time, we do work very hard. It's not easy to write books and draw books and then publish books. So it's just as hard as any other profession, I would say. But I think from the outside, people think we're just having fun, and, but we are also just working just as hard.
What I love about the story is that you guys live in Chaparral, New Mexico. Meaning you don't have to be in LA or San Diego or Phoenix. Like, you can literally do it anywhere as long as you got power and, I guess, Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. Wi-Fi is key.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's great to be sort of like a big fish in a little pond, I guess you would say. Like, for example, we only have one comic attic, one comic book store. So they're like the premier comic book store in our town. We publish comic books, and we haven't met anyone else in our town that does that. So, you know what I mean? And we do get support from our community as well, which is why they're letting us go into the middle school, to teach what we've been doing. And hopefully soon you're going to hear about Chaparral and all these comic book creators coming out of Chaparral.
Yeah, we're actually going to hopefully have our first Chaparral Comic Con next year as well.
Oh, who's doing that? Are you guys hosting it, or
we're actually gonna put it together along with the Gadsden Independent School District, and Chaparral, to help showcase all of these things that we're gonna be teaching the kids for the next few weeks. So they're gonna have a chance to actually take those things to the drawing board and we're going to check in with them later on to help guide them and putting their work together. And then we're going to put a big con together, a community Comic-Con for the community.
So instead of science fair, spelling bee, you have comic. That's
Exactly
awesome,
that. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
I'm surprised it's been done before. That's incredible. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't take it for granted that we have this skill. You know, it's like when I meet someone who can play the piano or a saxophone or a guitar. I mean, I'm just amazed at those skills, and I've tried to play instruments and I just can't. So we're just grateful that this is the skill that we have, and that we're acknowledging it and we're actually putting it into action. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who feel like they have a skill or a talent, but for some reason they're not allowed to express it or to actually work in it because of other responsibilities that they have in their life. So it's hard, so we're just very grateful. We're grateful to Soldiercon to allow us to be here, and that we get to meet all of our colleagues. Because honestly, this is where I feel like I fit in. There's a lot of places where I feel like I don't fit in, but when I come to Comic Cons, I feel like I fit in because we're all a little strange, or I don't know. But it's a very welcoming community here in the comics world.
It really is. But I guess one more time, we'll reiterate, dukescomics.com. Instagram is, spell that for me?
Instagram, dukescomics_publisher. Mm-hmm.
For all you aspiring brand new comic artists, writers, who want to learn or take the next level, hit these guys up. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.